Okay, so we're going to go ahead and dive into the PowerPoint part of this presentation. And again, we're going to move really quickly. Don't stress if you miss something, but if you have questions at any time, go ahead and put them there in the chat bar. Typically, when I have my assistant helping me, I try and get them to answer those, depending on if they're available or not. Worst case scenario, if I don't answer them, I'll try and get them answered by the end of the presentation. Or absolute worst case scenario, I'll go ahead and I'll respond via email if I don't get it answered during this. But I'll try and answer as many as I can as we're going here. So. First off, we're going to go dive right in. So let's discuss who we are. Goldman Memorial is our agency. We're the #1 final expense insurance agency in the entire country. We outsell every other company except for one insurance carrier just as an agency. We produce over 48 million in new business. Our average sale is about $600, so selling quite a bit of insurance. We've been with Lincoln Heritage, who is the carrier that we represent, for over 35 years exclusively, doing nothing but final expense. We currently operate 17 states. As you know, Lincoln Heritage is currently a national company, and we are their largest agency, again, that operates with them. We do about 30% of their business typically per year. Now, the reason we chose and the reason we work with Lincoln Heritage is because they're the #1 final expense carrier. They did over 160 million last year. This is all that they've done for over 50 years. They're very lenient. They require no social security number. There's no medical or physical exams needed. They have competitive pricing on their products. Again, they're not the absolute cheapest, but they price everything and they pay commissions based on if they can be in business another 50 years from now. And when you're building a business, you want to work with a company that you know those renewals, that residual income you're building up is going to be there whenever it's time for you to retire or whenever you're ready to leave the business. Now, most of their policies give same-day coverage, and we have a 98% approval on submitted applications. That means you go through a one-page front-only application. If you actually use our iPad, you can use our e-app, which is actually called a secure app. If you submit that before 3 p.m. Arizona time, they will actually deposit your commission in your checking account by midnight that night. So there's no waiting to get paid, because we know that if you answer those questions correctly, we know that we're going to be able to insure those people. We also insure 0 to 85, so pretty much everybody is a prospect. Again, our niche is the baby boomer, which is a fantastic opportunity for anybody that's watching this, because that market is growing by 10,000 per day and will for the next 15 to 20 years. So it's a huge growing market, and this is the perfect time to get in the industry because we've perfected the process. Now, I'm gonna go into my background. I came from a mortgage real estate, lost everything in 2008, literally lost homes, went from making $500-600 grand a year to nothing overnight, lost several homes, lost vehicles. Was pretty much at one of the lowest points in my life when I started here. I literally had to borrow money to get my license, but I went out, got licensed. It took me about a week and a half to get in and pass the test. I think it took about another 10 days or so for them to post it. But the reason I found this, and the way that I found this opportunity is the owner of the agency was actually one of my clients when I owned the mortgage real estate business. And he used to send me between 100, I probably make between 100, 150,000 a year off of his referrals. And a majority of the people actually work for this company. So when I came in, I'd already been working with agents that were making, 150, 200, 250,000 a year. I seen managers that were making over $500,000 a year. And so it got me really excited and fired up about the opportunity. Now, when I began, I began as an agent. Currently, I'm a senior regional manager. I'm topped out as high as I can go with the company. A lot of times you may see Taylor Legacy. Taylor Legacy is just my personal corporation. I still work for Goldman Memorial, and we under the Goldman Memorial umbrella, and we only sell Lincoln Heritage life insurance. Now, my first month license, I was a #1 agent in the country out of 5,000 agents. Simply put, I came in, I had some great sales mentors prior to working here, people that are multimillionaires in other industries. And I was taught very early on that it doesn't matter what industry you're in, that if you can go out and find the people that are making the most amount of money and you duplicate the way that they work, the way that they think and their processes, you can duplicate the results. So I came in, had a lot of people ask me what my secret was. Basically, I took the training that was given to me. And to be honest, I worked 30 days straight my first month. I was driving anywhere from 200 to 300 miles on a daily basis because I told them, being in the small town that I'm in, any leads that you have within 2.5 to 3 hours from where I live, just send them to me. Send me as many as you can. I'll find a way to work them. I'll find a way to get them to the kitchen table, and I'll find a way to protect those families. I sold 62 policies that counted for that first month, not including my rollover, for just under 36,000. I netted about 13 grand net income. Again, this is not typical. I should have made actually more, but I made a lot of mistakes on things where I didn't get advanced and things like that. But it was a fantastic learning experience. My first year, I was my first contest that the company had. I came in at averaging 23.5, and I was the #1 pro rata agent in the country. About 6 months in, well, first let me back up. Here's my first 9 months. I started in April 2008, 121,000 to be honest. Most insurance agents aren't going to go out and make 120 grand. So having a company that gives you the opportunity to make over 6 figures, and if you look at my first full 12 months, I came in a little over 175,000. And when I asked the owner, is this possible for me to make 150,000 my first year? He actually laughed. You know, again, we're friends, we go back. He said, look, I'm going to give you the tools, the leads, everything necessary to do that, but you're probably not going to be willing to work that hard. This opportunity is a grind. You have to be someone that has a very solid work ethic, being willing to put it, to commit the time. And if you can't commit 40 to 50 hours a week, now you may be transitioning from something else or another career field, but keep in mind, to be successful at these high levels, you have to be willing to put in, 40, 50, 60 hours a week, especially your first 6 months to a year, to establish your business and build your book of business. 121,000 to me, I felt like I was starving. Took me several years just to get caught up with the IRS. Owed them a lot of money from my previous business, but it was a fantastic start. It showed me that there was real money to be made in this industry. My group, I began building an agency. I got promoted to management about 6 months in. Currently, we're generally number 4, number 5 out of over 1,000 MGAs nationwide, which is the Taylor Legacy Agency. And if you go back, we haven't got the numbers for 2018, but in 2017, just our personal agency, just Taylor Legacy, we outproduced 95% of the insurance carriers that sell final expense life insurance. We know what works, what doesn't work. This is something that I've been with the company now over 11 years. And, I started out the same position that you're in. I started out in the same looking at this as an unlicensed, unexperienced agent. Now, you may be watching this and you may already have, or on this webinar with us, you may already have your insurance license, which means that you're that much further. But don't let the licensing process, it's only 32 hours, it's very simple, and most people can get it done and get fully licensed within anywhere from 2 weeks to 30 days at the most. Now, over the last 10 years, we've had over 900% growth. I'm really excited because last month we were up, it was over 200,000 versus this time last year. And this month we're tracking about 250,000 more in production versus the same month last year. So we're really excited about our growth. And again, a big part of it is the timing of the industry. Now, I'm going to show you some numbers. None of these are to brag. I'm a numbers person. I've worked for companies in the past where they said, hey, you can do this, you can make that, but nobody wants to show you a paycheck. Now, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This takes a lot of hard work. You can see my 2017 1099, 2.6 million. It actually dipped. I dipped a little bit in 2018. We gave out some promotions, did some things, and I adjusted my advance. And then this is through August 2019. There in the bottom right corner, you can see my 1099 so far is 1.8 million. So added up, if you add it up, that's over 7 from 2017 through August 2019. That's over 7.1 million. That's $224,000 a month. To me, anybody that doesn't see that and get excited, this is probably not the right opportunity. Now, it's not saying that you're going to go ahead and make 200,000, a month. But what it is saying is that whatever you're willing to put into this, the level of sacrifice that you're willing to commit to this is what the opportunity is going to pay you in return, right? This didn't happen overnight. I started my first 9 months. I made 121,000. Then I made 284,000. Then I made 395, then 690. Then I broke $1 million. It kept growing based on me building and showing other people how I was successful in the field. This is, we've always said, and the owner is always, my mentor here has always shown me that, you build this business one agent at a time. And so for me, my first 3 years in the field, every day pretty much, I had either a brand new agent or a struggling agent showing them what it was that I was doing, because to me, this is the easiest thing that I've ever sold. These are people that are responding, that have a genuine need, and we have the best product on the market to fill that need. So when you have that perfect combination with new people entering the market every day, then it's just a matter of following the training of what we know works and putting in the effort. And if you do that, the sky's the limit. So here in a little bit, I'll show you some of our other agents' income as well. But hopefully that gets you excited about the opportunity, just showing you that you're not capped. Because a lot of other companies will say, oh, you can make this, you can make that. And then when you hit 150,000, 200,000, 300,000, they say, oh, we're changing our commission structure. Oh, we're changing the territory. Here, if you're willing to travel, if you're willing to develop new territories and sacrifice, we're always looking for leaders, but you have to be able to lead by example. In order to get an opportunity to build an agency here and get promoted to the higher levels, you have to be able to produce at a very high level and show us that you have an impeccable attitude, and that you're someone that you want to learn, that you're coachable, and that you're a team player. And if you do those things, we can show you how to make over 7 figures. Matter of fact, from our last regional meeting, just some quick statistics here I don't have in the PowerPoint. Our average regional last year made $670,000, is 47.6 years old, and has been with us for almost 13 years. So again, we have a lot of people that have put in the time, energy, and effort, but they're getting compensated at a very large level because they're building up those renewals, they're building their agencies, and so there's a huge opportunity there. And if your goal is just to be an agent, if you say, hey, I want to make $60,000 a year, we can help you do that too. If you're someone that says, hey, I only want to work part-time, starting out or whatever it may be, and I want to make $40,000 a year, we can show you how to do that as well. But I just wanted to show you the potential. Now, what we sell, again, one page guaranteed issue, simple product. This is something that the payments are locked in. It's permanent. You don't want to sell anybody a term policy that's going to cancel when they hit 75 or 80 years old. So everything is permanent so that our clients know they can count on it. We can go as low as $15 a month. With our average policy is as of last month was about 57, generally between $50 to $60 a month. So we generally round it right around 600 annualized premium. Now let's discuss how we sell it. Our main selling point is we have a not-for-profit sister company called the FCGS. What they do is typically they used to charge $199 per person. We provide that to every client, every policy that we sell for free. And what they provide is they give them a free memorial guide where they can outline all of their wishes down to the music, pallbearers, obituary information. They can be very, very detailed, or they can be vague. But we take that, we archive it. We provide them with 5 ID cards for them and their loved ones. And then when they pass away, all the family has to do is pick up the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, make one phone call, and we're going to activate that plan. So what that looks like is we're going to contact the local funeral home of their choice, along with 2 other local funeral homes, and we're going to help price shop for that family. And if you look at what a huge benefit this is, because typically what happens when someone passes away, if you have a $15,000 policy with another company, one of the first things a funeral home is going to want to know is how are you paying for this when the family contacts them. If you have a policy, oh, can you bring that in? Oh, we're going to have you sign this form so we can contact the life insurance company to see how much coverage they have. Well, if you have 15,000, chances are the funeral is going to cost 15 grand. With us, the FCGS has actually started and is run by a gentleman that's ex-funeral director. They're a not-for-profit. They're designed to protect the consumer, and we provide this funeral assistance. And last year, we saved our clients over $13 million. That's $13 million that would have otherwise went to the funeral homes, but instead went to the families, went to the beneficiaries of our client's choice. To us, that is how we sell this guaranteed issue life insurance. There's a lot of life insurance companies out there, but there's nobody that has the FCGS, and this is our biggest selling point. It also helps us with our retention, which is generally between 83 to 84% first year retention. Now, how we do it, leads. So one thing to know is in this business, this is a high volume business. Your goal should be to sell at least 1 policy a day, meaning you're going to be doing at least 2 presentations every single day. The biggest thing I want to stress is nobody from Lincoln Heritage to any manager, whether they're in our agency or another agency in another state, nobody here benefits off leads. Every person that touches a lead or is in that chain of the lead is going to lose money. Last year I lost over $500,000. I can tell you every one of my managers loses a percentage of their income every single month, every single year. And the only reason that we're willing to do that, Lincoln Heritage generally loses several $1 million. But the trade-off of $3-5 million versus $160 million in production that's going to pay you year after year is worth it. And Lincoln Heritage understands that without us having exclusive fresh leads to see every single week, without the producer having people that have a genuine interest, a genuine need in our product, there is no production. We are the front lines of their business. We are where it starts, right? If we don't get outside of our own door and go to work every day, guess what happens? We can't protect the clients. A lot of times you'll hear the clients are number one, but the reality is it starts with you. Yes, the clients are number one, but technically you are, because if you don't go out and see those people, if you don't have leads to connect with, chances are you're not going to make any sales. Now, we generally average between 30 to 35, depending on how many new agents we're onboarding. Again, we have some agents that are closing, even much higher, 40, 45%, 50%. Our Spanish definitely has higher closing ratios, but as a whole, including all the agents, our veteran agents and the new agents, we're at usually a minimum of 30% to 35. If you're under 25%, Lincoln Heritage will actually flag you on our back end, because that means that you're going to get in account trouble. Now, the great thing here is that anytime, if you're ever struggling, we have people, managers, top agents that will work with you. If we don't have someone in your local area, I will put you on a plane and I will put you with one of the top producers in the entire country to ensure that you get the absolute best field training no matter what. That we want to help you. If you're struggling, if you're someone that has a good attitude and you're communicating on a daily basis, we will bend over backwards to help you, put you in the car, and give you as much necessary field training as needed. We have a vested interest in your success, because also, if I give you $1,000 in leads and you don't work out, or your manager gives you $1,000 in leads and you don't work out, the next month they take $1,000 out of that manager's check, or out of my check, depending on who you're working with. And so we have a vested interest. We want to do everything that we can to help you succeed. And it's not about the money, it is about the time, because your time, our time, that is our most valuable asset. We all only have 24 hours in a day. And so we are looking for committed people that are willing to follow these steps, that are willing to follow these systems that are proven, that work. And to give you an idea, we'll tell you here a little bit about some of our agents here in a minute. We typically always have top agents every single month in the country. We always have a big percentage of the top 10, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. Now, there's no out-of-pocket expense ever for our leads. We finance the leads and we actually subsidize the cost. Now, we have a complete lead program, and what that means is our subsidized cost, we produce these leads from, they're all produced in-house from television, direct mail, and web advertising. That means if you get a lead, it is never resold, it is never recycled, it's never going to another agent. We will not mail the same zip code for 60 days, meaning that if you don't sell them in 60 days and you don't contact them and they remail it back in, then another agent may get it. But we give you 60 days. And again, hopefully you're going to work your leads on a weekly basis where you're getting through those and getting to them. But your leads are never recycled or never resold to another agent. When you buy those leads, those are your leads, but there's no out-of-pocket cost. All the leads are 100% fresh, exclusive, again, never resold. And as an agency for Taylor Legacy, for my agents, I give up to $1,500 a month in lead credit. So if you go out and do your job at a good level, our lead credits start off, I believe it's at $250 or $500. It goes up to $1,500 for our top producers. So there's a way that you can get a big chunk of your marketing paid for every single month. And for new agents, if you're not comfortable, or maybe you're hesitant because of the cost of leads, which we'll get to the cost here in just a minute. Leads are expensive. To generate a quality lead it's not an easy thing. We do testing all the time. Sometimes leads come back at over 100. Sometimes they come back at $200 a lead. We don't charge that, but we have a free lead option. So if you're a new agent and you're willing to start off at a little bit lower contract, we can actually provide you up to 35 exclusive leads a week, as long as you're closing at least 25% on a weekly basis. If they're older leads, let's say as an example, we will adjust those ratios. We are going to be more than fair. We're going to do everything that we can to help you. Now, if you start off that lower contract, you're working 35 leads a week, you're confident everything's going well, and you say, hey, I'm ready to go, then we can bump you up and you start paying for your leads. We can increase your contract. But that is just an option for anybody that is hesitant or worried about having to shell out money on finance leads. Now, here's some examples of two of our direct mail pieces. It says that you can reserve as much as $20,000 tax-free cash for final expenses. This comes from, it says Lincoln Heritage. It says the Funeral Advantage program. This doesn't say health insurance. It says tax-free $20,000 benefit from the Funeral Advantage, but Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company. All of these things are so that we are compliant and so that we give you the absolute best lead piece. Now, when you get leads, you're not going to sell everybody. Typically, you get 10 leads, you should be able to do 6 presentations if you approach them the way that we teach you, and you know the objections on how to get them to the kitchen table. You should be able to sell at least half. When you're first starting out, you should be able to sell 3 out of 10. Again, that's including the agents that fail. Our 30 to 35% is including the agents that fail. So that's going to be a typical ratio. You're not going to get in and sit with every lead that you get. Some people are going to curse you out, slam a door in your face. You're going to get all those things. You're going to say, hear people say, oh, I thought it was health insurance. That's a part of marketing. But if you realize that if you can sit with 60% of your leads and close at least half and move quickly, that's how we're going to get you to earning over 100 grand your first 12 months. Now, how the marketing works. Again, leads are not cheap. Direct mail runs between 39 to 41, depending on if it's English or Spanish in the state that you're in. Our TV run between 41 to 47, same thing, state and if it's English or Spanish. When we first start you off, we're typically going to give you 15 leads. We want to see at least 3 or 4 sales. Again, we'll have some leniency there, but if we give you 15 or 20 leads and you don't sell anything or you sell 1 or 2 policies, we're going to say, hey, you need more training. Hey, you need to go out and you know, make sure you get referrals. Do these things that we're going to teach you to do so that we can ensure that you're moving in the right direction. Because again, if you're just burning leads, it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do us any good. These leads will close at 30 to 35% if you do everything exactly the way that we teach you. If you do it differently, chances are there's a good chance you're going to fail, and this is going to be a waste of your time and our time. So that's why we're very adamant about you following our processes. If you're brand new, we're going to help control your lead financing. They take a percentage as you're selling. We will balance that for you because, again, if you don't work out, that money comes out of our paycheck. So you don't got to worry about that. But just a general idea of how the lead financing works. This is only if you're on the lead financing agreement. If you want to take the lower contract again, leads are free. We can start you off at a 50% contract with 0 lead cost. Once you're up and running and producing at a higher level, once you've built up some monthly residual income coming in and you're comfortable, at that point, we can move you to a higher contract level where you start paying for your own leads. Now, for anybody that's paying for leads or anybody that's comfortable and that is really confident in their sales ability, I'd recommend just starting out at the normal contract level because it's going to help you get that jump start. But if you owe 0 as you submit business, they're going to take 0 out of your commission. If you owe 1,000 or under 1,000 in leads and chargebacks, they're going to take 30% of your commission to repay your debt. If you owe over 1,000, it's 40%, and if it's over 2,000, it's 50%. So what that means is basically it's like you have a 0% interest credit card with a company, and as you make sales, as you submit business, they're going to look at what you owe in leads and chargebacks. If it falls in whichever one of those categories, that percentage is going to go to repay your cost, so that you can continue to take fresh leads every single week so that you can continue to make sales and continue moving forward. Now, how we get paid. We're going to use an example of $50 a month, which is the client is going to be paying $600 a year. You go in a house, you write them up on the iPad. They have a checking account. You submit it for $50 a month. They're going to pay you 80% commission. Now, 80% is our standard agent contract. We typically we're going to start every agent off at a 75%. Once you sell 5,000, which is less, it's 8 or 9 sales, we bump you automatically to an 80. So again, this is our standard agent contract. Our probationary contract is 75%. Once you hit 5,000 annualized premium, we're going to bump you up to 80%. So once you hit that number in a 30-day period, make sure that you let your manager know or let our office know so we can adjust your contract. But what we're going to do is you're going to earn on a $50 a month sale, you're going to earn $480. Now, they advance 75% of that money up front, which is $360. And then if you owe any money, I'm using the example here of 30% leads and chargebacks, you're going to make $252. I will just keep it as simple as possible. I would recommend planning on making anywhere from $200 to $250 per sale average. For me, I like to go on the low side, so I say $200 per sale. Then do the math backwards. If you got to make $2,000 a month, that means, $2,000 a week. You got to find a way to sell 10 policies a week. Now, some weeks you might make $2,500 or $3,000 on those sales, but absolute worst case scenario, you're going to take home at least $2,000 in your pocket. Now, our top producers are generally selling anywhere from 40 to 50 policies a month consistently. We have some people that will sell 10 to 15 a week every single week like clockwork. And we'll show you exactly what it is that they do, how many leads they take, and how they work those leads. Now, the 25% that's not advanced, starting month 2, as long as the client makes their second payment, you're actually going to get $10 a month. They call that a pay through. Now, we also we have prorated chargebacks, meaning that if a client dies within 12 months, let's say they have it 6 months, or they cancel or they die 6 months in, the company will prorate your chargeback. So you'll only be charged back for half of the commission that they advanced you. So you're not going to get a full chargeback. But let's look at this 25% that wasn't advanced up front, pay through. Starting month 2, typically for a new agent, because if you have any leads or chargebacks at the beginning of the month, they will apply that balance to clear it so that you can take a fresh start. But if you look at our typical average producing agent, most agents are at least $1,500 to $2,000 a month at the end of their first year. This is why your first 6 months to a year is so crucial here. You have to be willing to put in that time and that commitment to build that book of business. How nice would it be a year from now to have $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a month coming in before you even start the month in residual income? So this is why we say that put in that time and that commitment your first 6 months, 6 to 12 months. Now, agent income potential. We generally say 85 to 150 first year. Again, I made 175,000 my first year. I had one agent hit 200,000 in their first 12 months. So again, there's different levels, and that's all going to depend on your sales ability, your willingness to communicate effectively with your manager and with our office on a daily and weekly basis. And your work ethic. You know, I can tell you that the guy that we had that hit 200,000 was not the best salesperson that I've ever worked with here. He was one of the hardest working people that I've ever hired. He was putting in, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. He was going anywhere that we had leads, and he just said, I got to find a way to make 200 grand my first year. So we gave him the roadmap to get there, and he was able to hit it. Now, I would say an average agent typically is going to make about 68,000 a year. And what that means in net is you should be making 2,500 to 4 grand a month net income. This is if you're an average producer. Again, if you're someone that you can't put in that level of time, your income is going to be lower, right? Especially when you're first starting out, because you have to build up that book. Now, it's not to say that you can't start off making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month, because I've seen many agents do that. Several of our managers started off. I was talking to one the other day. He said he never made less than $6,000 net his first year, right? So it's going to depend on the level of effort that you're willing to put in. So top first year agents can easily double that. And if you look at a senior agent, someone that's been here 2 years or more, we have our top senior agents are generally making anywhere from 200 to 250,000 a year. Last year, our top agent, and again, I'm really excited about this. Last year, out of 16,000 agents nationwide, 4 of the top 10 worked directly for my agency, for Taylor Legacy. And we've had the #1 agent in the country for 3 years running. 3 years running, we have the #1 agent in the country, and he made over 300,000 with bonuses and everything. Howard probably made between 320 and 350 grand, depending on his lead credits and his bonuses. He made well over 300,000. So again, huge potential here. So let's take a look. What some of this looks like. Here's a couple of our agents. Aaron, 18,000 a month. Aaron came from, I think he said he was doing car sales and was making, 60, maybe 80,000 a year. He's sitting at through 8 months, 146,000. Anthony, 13,000 a month. Eric, 21,000 a month. Howard, top agent in the country, bottom right corner, over $24,000 a month. Howard was in the mortgage industry for a little bit, and he was installing insulation for like $60,000 a year. He's also a full-time pastor of a church, and he manages to go out and make over 300 grand a year selling this product to our clients. Now, let's look at a couple of our managers. Top left, we got John here. This is including he set up a corporation, so he has 2 accounts. He made over 300,000 through August 31st, over 8 months, 37,000 a month. If you look at Mike down in Southern California, over 46,000 a month. Nate, 26,000 a month. And it's a weird thing to say that, in 2008, I literally, I couldn't barely keep the PG&E on prior to starting here. I was again, one of the lowest points in my life. I felt like a failure. I'd lost a business that I put a lot of time, energy, and effort in. And, to look back and see the opportunity that it's given me and see that, I'm averaging, over 226,000 a month is such a blessing. It's been such a blessing, not only to my family, but to many other families. And it's allowed us to do a lot of charitable things. It's allowed me to help a lot of our other agents and give back to our agency as well. And it just shows you that, if you're willing to put in the time, energy, and effort, this company, the sky's the limit. Again, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to have a long-term business plan, but you can really build your business to whatever you like to here. Here is some residual income. I'm going to show you contract date, and then you'll see it says the top left here in white. I blacked out some of this stuff. Just I had to block it for privacy. The company doesn't like us to show all the back end numbers. But it says first year plus renewals minus any debt. So you see those numbers there. So and you can go down the right. So basically, this agent was hired. In October 2018. So $22.75 a month. He's got almost 60,000. You see the two right numbers on the right, one TOT and RTOT. That's his first year, what the company owes him over the next 12 months based on business he's written, plus his renewals. So he has about 58,000 in is what his account is worth of what he's built up. Here's another agent, 2018. He's making $1,400 a month in monthly renewals, 61,000 total renewals. Here's another agent, 2018, 2206, 75,000. Here's actually one of our managers. These two were stuck. They were actually in the same, they were next to each other in our commission statement, so I just included them in here. He's been with us since 2010. He makes almost $12,000 a month before he even gets up and goes to work. Almost $700,000 in retirement and renewals. Here's another agent, 2016, $3,500 a month before they go to work, $120,000. And I'm going to go kind of faster just because we got quite a few of these. I picked out just a handful just to show you some different levels of people. This person's been here 2017, $3,700 a month, almost $100,000 in retirement. This person's been here since 2013, almost $4,000 a month, almost $170,000. 2016, almost $6,000 a month in residual income, over $200,000 in retirement. This person's been here 2014, $6,000 a month before they get up and go to work, $127,000. This one's been 2014, $7,000 a month, $200,000 in retirement. Here's some of our the managers. A couple of our, and a lot of these are newer managers, people that are they're really area and district managers. $10,000 a month, $656,000. You know, you can, and basically we can go on and on. 10, 8,000, almost 9,000, almost 16,000. You know, one of the managers at the bottom, you see, he's got $1.3 million in first year in renewals. That means something were to happen to him or her, if he retired, if he quit tomorrow, you know, that's money that's going to go to his family. Now, here's another one of our managers. This actually, I think this is John's account. $22,000 a month before he gets up and goes to work. $1.8 million. This is Mike's account. $31,000 a month before he goes to work. $2.6 million. And there's my personal account. I started April 2008. You can see the bottom left corner. It's a weird thing, right? I remember saying my goal was to make $100,000 a month in 10 years. I'm 11 years in, and now I'm making not only double that, but I'm making almost $160,000 a month at the beginning of the month just in residual income. So when the month's starting, that allows me to put a lot back into this business. And if something were to happen to me, or if I were to say, you know, I want to retire tomorrow, I have over $8 million in retirement with the company. You know, how many companies are going to give you that type of opportunity? You know, I watched my dad work at a factory, you know, and work his way up from the bottom to one of the top positions over, you know, 35 years. And I think when he retired, he maybe had $700,000 in retirement. This opportunity is huge. If you put your blinders on, go to work, and you're here for the long haul, this is a fantastic company, a fantastic opportunity to be a part of. Now, we also, on top of that, offer bonuses and incentives. You can see my brother right there. He won a contest, sold 41 policies. 41 or 42, it was like in a 7-day period. I think he made a little over $27,000 for the week. We always have all kinds of contests. Last month, we gave out over $21,000. Generally, we're giving, you know, anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 in cash bonuses. We also do generally about $10,000 a month in marketing for free leads. We raffled off 3 brand new cars recently. The bottom left, one of our Southern California agents actually won one. And we had a 2017 contest where we gave away a house. It was a contest, a raffle contest based on production. 2018 was nothing but net. So put everybody's name that qualified into a hat, pull it, and then whatever their net income is, the owner writing them a check for to double their net income. So again, all kinds of cash bonuses, vacations. We're going to the Bahamas coming up here pretty quick. But the cool thing is the company goes above and beyond. You know, the vacations are fantastic. Me and my wife, I think we've probably been on 10 or 15 vacations now, traveled all over the world. Germany, we've been to Scotland, Canada, Mexico several times. You know, we've already been to the Bahamas, we've been to Hawaii, you know, been just all over. Panama, we're going to Chile next year. All of these things just to motivate us to go out and do our job, to go out and do what we're supposed to do anyway. So it's a fantastic company. They give a lot of bonuses and incentives. Now, what we're looking for, We're looking for people. We don't care about your experience level. If you're someone that doesn't have any sales experience, I'm just looking for someone that's ambitious, that's self-motivated, someone that has integrity, right? We're sitting with people. We train every agent to treat the people that you sit with integrity, because majority of these clients are people that are living on a fixed income on Social Security. So you're going to be working in mobile homes. You're going to be working in some low income areas. And by God's grace, one day you may be in that situation. So we just ask that you have integrity and you treat these people right. Treat them like it's your own family. Treat them like it's your mom or your dad, your grandparents, is a huge part. Having a positive attitude. You're going to be dealing with 60 to 70% rejection. If you sell 30% of your leads, that means 70% of your day is going to be dealing with negativity. And you have to be someone that doesn't take that personally, right? You have to be someone that understands this is a numbers game. If you look at our top agent, he just goes next, 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 and he never loses any bounce in his step. He continues to move forward to the next door, and he does it with the same enthusiasm, because he knows that if he talks to the right people and he says the right things, it's just an equation. Sometimes you might get 4 or 5 houses in a row that you don't sell, or 10 houses that you don't get into. But if you just work the numbers, you might sell the next 8, 9, 10 in a row. I had a run where I think I had 23 sits in a row that I sold. Right? It's just a numbers game. And if you follow the system, it'll work. But you have to have a positive attitude, handle rejection with a smile, be outgoing and personable, hardworking, commit at least 40, 50 hours a week. Jack London, that built Lincoln Heritage from the ground up, had a 10-point system that he guaranteed that you could hit $1 million in renewals in under 10 years if you followed his 10-point system, and we'll share that with you if you come aboard. But one of those the points of his 10-point system is being willing to commit 50 hours a week, right? If you want to earn these type of numbers that we showed you, every one of these agents works not only smart, but they work hard. They're people, our top agent said he hits his first door generally between 10 and 11, and he gets home a lot of times 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. He's out there till dark on a daily basis, 5, 6 days a week. That's the reason he makes $300,000 a year. And so it's something you have to be hard working. And the more time you put in when you first start, the easier this business is going to be for you. Now, we're also looking for someone that's client focused, putting the client's needs above your own. If you go in there and you're trying to replace policies that shouldn't be replaced, you're trying to push them into something they can't afford, you're not going to be in business long. So you have to put the client first, but you also have to be money motivated. You have to set goals for yourself. And be competitive. Look at some of our other top agents. You'll have an opportunity to hear from and talk to the top 1% of our industry here within our own agency. If you want to call up our top agent, we'll give you his number. You can call him up. If you want to talk to one of our top managers, you can talk to him. We're going to put you with the top men and women from all around the country to ensure that you have the tools. But be competitive. Look at it and set goals, but also be coachable. Be willing to follow the blueprint. If you move forward with this, if you get licensed or you're licensed and you go through our online training, absorb it. Take 3, 4, 5 hours, hand write out the presentation. This is a 5 to 7 minute presentation, but if you do not own it verbatim when you first start, you will fail. You will fail. If you hesitate, you will fail. If you go out there, you're going to be nervous and you're going to stumble here and there, but take the time to practice this. Don't go out there and burn through leads and set yourself up for failure. So be coachable. And if you're failing, pick up the phone and call us, right? We're looking for people that are team players, men and women that are team players that will participate in our local trainings, our conference calls, and communicate with their manager on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, and also our office. Now, let's discuss what an average day looks like. An average day, an agent takes their leads, they print them, sort them, GPS them. We send out a pre-approach letter as soon as the lead comes in. We train our agents to take that lead with a person's handwriting and physically go see them. Hey, Mrs. Jones, you sent this in. My company asked me to come out and see you. May I come in? It is that simple. This is a very, very simple pitch. We'll teach you how to overcome the objections, but you have to be willing to go to the door. The leads are generally within a minute, 2 minutes apart because we do them by zip code. And sometimes you might have to circle back. Our top agent, he said his goal is to hit 25 doors every day. 25 leads doors every day. Now, some days he might have to circle back 2 or 3 times, but he will exhaust those leads. When he takes leads for Monday, by Thursday or Friday, he has been to every house 5 to 7 times already. He's going to find out, he's going to keep going back. And we had him training someone recently, and he said, hey, I sold a lead from a year and 2 months ago. He would happen to be in the area, had some fresh leads, pulled out that old lead that he never got in touch with, and he told the guy, I've been looking for you for a year and 2 months. I've been trying to get a hold of you for a year and 2 months. Got in and sold him a policy, right? But do a minimum 20 doors a day. I recommend 20, 25 every single day. Be willing to commute within an hour to 2 hours of home. You have to be willing to at least drive to go to an area that has leads, right? Depending on your location. I'm in a very small town, so I was driving at least an hour to Fresno south of where I live, or an hour north of Modesto, and I would hit all the little towns on the way. I would focus all day, work till dark in those areas, and then hit the little areas on the way home. Now, if you look at our top agents, a lot of them are driving 200 to 300 miles a day every single day. Depending on the area you live, you may have to drive further. Depending on the area you live, you might not have to drive more than 10 miles from your house. It's all going to depend on the demographics and lead availability. I can't make more people. I can't make more leads if the demographics not there. But we will do our absolute best to keep you as close to home as possible. And just understand that you have to be willing to commute within at least an hour radius one way of where you live, so that you can get 20 to 35 leads every single week. Now, you're going to handle loss rejection. The typical numbers, is we said it already, 6 to 7 sits for every 10 leads, sell at least half. Again, remember, you're paid to take no's with a smile. We are not in the yes business. If you're looking to be in the yes business, go work at Walmart or Save Mart or one of these retail chains where people bring up to the register and you just swipe it, right? Yes, yes, yes. We're in the no business. We work through the no's to get to the people that need this product, that have to have this product. So be willing to take no with a smile. Move quickly, put in the proper amount of time. Again, if you're going to try and work 10, 15 hours a week, unless you're transitioning within the next 2 weeks to a month at the most, this is not the right fit for you. This is not going to be a good fit. We're looking for people to commit full time. We want people to put in a full-time effort because we want to see you be successful, especially when you first start out. Constant communication. Be willing to ask for help. Talk to your manager. When I first started out, I probably called my manager 12 times the first day I was in the field. But I sold 3 or 4 policies the first day I went out, and I was calling because I needed help and I had questions. I was running into things that I wasn't necessarily prepared for underwriting wise. So be willing to communicate. Now, are you ready to be our next success story? This business is not what you're capable of. It's what you're willing to do. Let me repeat that. It is not what you're capable of, it's what you're willing to do. When I came into this industry, I came from working, selling $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 homes. Going out and knocking on someone's door that lives off of $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month, $1,500 a month was completely foreign. But I looked at the need of this product, that I can go out and I can provide a very valuable service that's going to protect people and their families at one of the worst days in their life. I can go out and do that, make a difference in my community, and I can make 6 figures plus. I could grow up to 7 figures, which I'm now doing, by going out and helping people. So you have to be willing to get uncomfortable to be successful here. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. To go out and knock on a door for me was uncomfortable. To get a door slammed in my face was uncomfortable. But I can promise you, after you do it a couple times, it just becomes second nature. You realize it's not that big a deal. It's not the end of the world if someone tells me to get off their porch. They requested this information. You're going to someone that they sent this in, and it's usually because someone they know died, someone got sick, something happened. They're 65, 75 years old, and they're living on a fixed income, and they don't want to leave the burden on their family. That's where we come in. But we have to be trained to overcome the objections, right? We have to be trained. You have to be a trained assassin to overcome the no's at the door, because you only have one opportunity. You're not going to book an appointment and come back 2 days later because they're going to cancel. If they're 70 years old and they don't have a policy, it's not because they didn't call AARP and Globe Life and Colonial Penn and every other company out there. The reality is people don't like to think about death and dying. So you have to put them back in that state of mind when they fill that lead in, ask the right questions, build value on our product, and paint a picture of why they need to do this, of why this is important so that their loved ones don't suffer. I went to a funeral today. I hate going to funerals. It's horrible. It was a young, unexpected death. Happens. Age doesn't matter. When it's our time, it's our time. Everybody in our business is a prospect. And when you go into that mindset to help people, you're going to win. But also expect this to be difficult and to be a grind. This is not a walk in the park. This is hard. You're going to go out there. You're going to have some days when you get your butt kicked. I remember 32 doors one day and I didn't sell a single policy, right? It happens. That's a part of our business. But if you look at it that, hey, all those no's, for every no I get, I make $100. For every no I get, I'm $100, $150, depending on your closing ratio, whatever your number is. And you keep moving forward, you're going to be successful. And if you're willing to do those things, I will hold your hand. I personally will ensure that we will give you every necessary tool. If you have the right attitude, the communications there, and the work ethics there, we will hold your hand to 200,000 a year. I can't promise it's going to happen next year or the year after, but we are dedicated and we will do everything in our power to help you hit it as quickly as possible if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the effort and stay the course and keep moving forward. Now, why move forward? Again, if you're not licensed, we pay up to $300 for licensing. You look at our industry, this is recession proof. When the recession hit, we blew up. We went from $600,000 a month as an agency to writing over $4 million a month. We've had some months this year where we've gotten really close to $5 million because it pushes good people in our industry, and our clients aren't the ones losing jobs. The cost of funerals is not going down. It's not going away. So we're going to continue to grow. We may have another recession on the horizon. This is the perfect time to position yourself for that. Also, the double-edged sword of the freedom and flexibility to choose when and how you work. This is something that, again, if you want to take a 4-day weekend, you don't got to call anybody. You're self-employed here. You work for yourself. But I can promise you, if you don't put in the proper amount of time, you're going to fail. Our top agent, his goal is $180 in monthly premium every day. And if he said, if I hit 180 by 12, I'm still working till dark because I'm trying to get my 180 for tomorrow. And if I write 5,000 in annualized premium, I'm gonna keep going because I'm still trying to get to my goal of 41,000 a month in production. And then at the end of the month, if I hit my goal, then I'm gonna take 3 or 4 days or a week and take the kids to Hawaii or to Mexico because I hit my goal. But you have to be willing to put in that time. We're always looking to promote. Again, it's all based on your effort and what you put in. And people that are looking to build an agency. You know, if you already have an agency, you know, that's something that you need to call me directly. We can discuss it. But almost always, 9 out of 10 times, we promote from within. We're looking for people that can go out and produce at a very high level because we help our managers recruit. I spend generally probably about, probably 40, 50,000 a month in advertising and office expenses to help our managers. And it's to help them build their agencies, to help them increase their income, to help them find other people that need and want this opportunity, that are hungry for a change, that want this type of opportunity to change their family's legacy forever. And if you're hungry and you're willing to put in the time and commitment, the opportunities are endless here. And most importantly, our culture. Every person here wants to see you succeed at the highest level. And I can promise you, from the back end at Lincoln Heritage, through the back end at my office, through Gold Memorial's office, you know, we have people at every level. When you call them, I guarantee, I promise you, it will be one of the best experiences dealing with our office, dealing with Lincoln Heritage, because they appreciate your business. We appreciate your business. And we are going to do everything to help you hit your goals. Everything humanly possible within our power if you're willing to do the things that we've asked here today. Now, if you're ready to take the next step, it's up to you. I'm not going to keep, you know, our office, we make, you know, hundreds and hundreds of calls every day. We typically get anywhere from 100 to 200 non-licensed applicants that apply on a daily basis. And, you know, it's up to you. If you're licensed, email Rachel at tlfinalexpense.com. If you're not licensed and you'd like to learn about the joining and earning or getting into our internship, where we'll put the $300 up for your licensing, contact Vanessa at tlfinalexpense.com. For the fastest response, call us. If it's during business hours, we're on the West Coast, Central California. We're here Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we close at 4 p.m. We're 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Fridays. But if you call us, that you're going to get the absolute fastest response. If you're watching this during normal business hours, we do these things different times. I do them at night. Sometimes I do them in the morning. But if it's during normal business hours, call us. We'll get your information. We'll get you rocking and rolling right now. But don't hesitate. You know, I talked to thousands and thousands of agents over the years, the last 11 years as I've been doing this, some in person, some on the phone. And every single week, it seems like I get 3 or 4 or 5 phone calls with people saying, man, I wish I would have did this a year ago. Oh man, I wish I would have did this 7 years ago when I first looked at this. Oh man, I wish I would have did this 5 years ago when I first met you. This opportunity will change your life if you let it. This opportunity will change your life if you let it. You have to be someone that comes in that's coachable, hungry, and willing to do the things we're going to ask you to do. And I promise you, we are going to live up to every promise I made to you today. Now, if you're someone that you'd like to talk with me, my email's down below, adam@tlfinalexpense.com. Again, adam@tlfinalexpense.com. Or if you'd like to talk on the phone, shoot me a text with your name and your info. We'll set up a call. Again, it's for me, I've got over 300 agents, so I gotta balance my time with my agency and our managers and with all our other things that we got going. But if you're hungry and you're just real excited, or maybe there's one thing that's holding you up after going through this, shoot me a text. We'll set up a call, and I'll see if we can answer that and see if this is going to be a mutual beneficial partnership, because that's what this is. This is a partnership. Every person that works here is building their own business, their own legacy. And I just genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, want to appreciate each and every one of you that took the time, the almost an hour here to watch these slides, and that went through this through the end. Again, time is your most valuable asset, and I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you take this seriously. Hopefully you take the next step. And I look forward to meeting you face to face. I look forward to shaking your hand. And I look forward to seeing you duplicate some of the numbers we showed today. Thank you, and you guys have a great day.